Okay. Mm-hmm. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. All right. Let me check. Let me check. Okay. Let me check the audio levels real quick. If everything is coming through as it should. La, 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 la. All right. Ta-da. Hello, everyone. Good to see ya. Hope you're having a good day. My Windows pop-up can go away now. Thank you very much. No, I don't want to read the news. Thank you. Here we are. Oh, seems like my camera froze. I can fix that. 1 second. Let me fix that. Let me fix that. Ah, there we are. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. Today, I am going to make some more silly little parts for my things, for my sculpture. Yeah. Last time I made those parts. Let's. I'm just gonna bring them over here. 1 second. Hey, good day to you as well, Mud Wizards. Good to see you. Oh, you were thinking I was sitting extremely frozen, extremely sitting still. No, no, it was just my camera. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but sometimes it just likes to freeze on me. But luckily, it's an easy fix. I just have to deactivate and activate the camera again in OBS, the streaming software. it's not a big deal. It's a bit annoying. Luckily, it doesn't happen often. Okay, last time we made these parts. Let's actually get a bit of a more of a close. Oop. Let's not drop our things. I made a little claw. Little claw. This is this diameter of this hole over here is the same as these holes. So that means a bolt can fit in here, and you can still tighten it with a nut in a way so that it grabs onto the material. So it should basically function as a hole, but it is also shaped like a little claw or something. So it has multiple uses. And we made this angle. I think this one turned out pretty nice. Nice big piece. It's cold here, by the way. The clay is like cold to touch. It's like 11.9 degrees Celsius here right now in the studio. But it's nothing to be alarmed of. A nut and a bolt. Also, very nice, very good. I have already a whole bunch of those, but the more, the better, always. This big angle is a bit like this one. Here, I have this one. This is like you could say, the straight precursor to it. But I decided, hey, I want a little bend in the end. So I have more options for connectability. Like this one. This is also an angle, but this one just has 2 holes. But this one has 3 holes. Also, this is an interesting piece. This one has one regular hole, as you can see, and one threaded hole. It has threads. Ooh, so you can tighten a bolt in there, just put it in there, without having to use a nut. Like this. And it's really stuck in there. Not coming out. Isn't that neat? It's a bit like a vise or something. I think I could totally make something, make like a vise out of this actually. Actually, let me try. I think if I take something like this, it's a bit of a makeshift vise, really. Thanks, Mud Wizard. Thank you. I appreciate the compliments. Hello, greetings from Maastricht. Oh, hey! A fellow Maastrichtenaar. Nou ja, zeg. Greetings to you too. Polychrome.sock. Not sure who you are, but hello. Well, this is basically a little vice. Yeah. I don't know why I made this. This is more just of a demonstration. But because there is a threaded hole in here, when you tighten this, it comes together. And you can crush. I'm gonna crush something. Oh wait, it's too big. I'm gonna crush something. Hello from Portugal. Hey, Hannah. How you doing? Hannah, designer, artist, fellow artist. Nice to meet you. Hope you're having a good day. Okay, let's crush it. Oh, the sound. This stuff is tougher than I thought. Oh. Not really as climactic as I thought. Unfired clay is structurally stronger than you think, actually, especially when you press it like against the material. It's surprisingly strong. But then again, it's like a cookie, super fragile. If I do this, nothing, no resistance. So if I put it in like the right way, maybe I can crush this. Hey, yeah. Well, not as spectacular. I was hoping it to be, but you get the idea. I can totally put something in here. Also, not for crushing. Not necessarily for crushing, but just. Yeah. That's in there. It's basically the same principle as a screw. That's how a vise works, I suppose. Love the idea. So many possibilities. Exactly. The grinding ASMR sounds are so satisfying. Well, thank you. I hope they are not too ear grating. To some people, they are a little bit ear grating. Actually, let me real quick. I always forget with ASMR if I should put the sensitivity really high or really low. I think I should put it like really high and then talk very softly. And then when you turn the knobs, okay, that's enough, I think. Okay, so let's make another piece. Actually, let's first let's not drop everything. Let's I think I have a little bit of cleaning up to do with this one. This has a little bit of unfinished texture over here. Oh, you're welcome, Polychrome. I always like to demo the stuff. Oh, Mud Wizards. I was thinking I want to make some sculptural heads on screws to be able to change out different heads on a bust. Oh, I like that idea. That's pretty crazy. Like different moods, maybe. I would store the extra heads in the belly or bust. Oh, you have like a sculpture, and then put that up a little bit. And you have the heads. You have a sculpture, and you can like a light bulb change the head. And that's pretty crazy. I kind of love that idea. Also, ceramics you're talking about, because yeah, I can recommend trying to make screws out of ceramics. Uh, is it difficult? Yeah, but you can do it. I use molds. It really is. To make this thread, I do not recommend carving this by hand in any way. I just made a mold from an existing screw. As you can see, this is a very large, oversized screw, and I used a large wooden screw, like from a large old wine press or olive press or a old wooden vise or something. And that's very suitable because wooden screws have this very robust thread pattern. Because if you use a metal screw, it has a very fine thread, and the finer you go, the less tolerance you have to play with. With this big texture of a screw, you can get away with a lot more error, so to say. Because I play with a lot of a lot of tolerance. Like the nuts and bolts I use, like they are quite loose. As you can see, they sort of dangle around. Sometimes you can almost see through, like you can see the light on the other side between the thread and the nut. So I like to use a bit of tolerance because clay, during the making process, it likes to deform pretty easily. And when that happens and something gets stuck, you cannot really fine tune that afterwards. So I rather have too much play than too little and it getting stuck, because it getting stuck means the piece is unusable. You cannot really like file it away. Yeah, you could, but like that's so much work. I would need like an angle grinder with like a diamond disc on it or something, and it's not really worth the effort. And then also you get these grinding marks, which I don't really like. So I rather than just make a new piece that is a little bit looser. Hey, Mud Wizards, what kind of stuff do you usually like to make then? If you don't mind me asking. It would be ceramic, and yes, we'll probably use a mold. Doesn't have to be so tight, just because to set in place could even just do clay plugs, like a lid or a cork. Oh yeah, I mean totally. You can totally um, use more just that it slots in there, like a Lego brick or something. There are lots of options you can use. Of course, you don't have to use ceramic to make the connecting piece, but it's pretty cool to make it out of ceramic. That's the reason why I do it in the first place, to make all these mechanical parts and mechanical appliances of mechanics out of ceramics entirely, and not, well, hiding a screw, something in there. I like the idea of it being some sort of material. Yep, I want to say purity, but that sounds a little weird. More sort of a like a mono material approach. That sounds very fancy and artistic, but I suppose that's what you could call it. Monomaterial mindset. I have a monomaterial mindset. And there's nothing you can do about it. I think these pieces are all looking good. Actually, let me show you some other piece with a mechanical property that you might find interesting, Mud Wizards. Yeah, look at this little guy. The little guy over here. As you can see, just an ordinary little guy. Or is he? There's something sticking out of his belly. Is it stuck in there? And what's this? Is that a pin? A hinge of some kind? Well, it doesn't want to hinge. But if I do this, it does. Oh, wait. Like that. That is the little clay man with a stuck belly or something. I don't know what the message of this piece is, but I think it's cool. It looks cool, and it's wacky. Wicked cool, opening my mind. Well, I'm glad you're liking it, Mr. Mud Wizard. Seem to be a mud wizard yourself. Actually, let me show you one more piece. This is actually my first. Is it my first? I think, yeah, my very first ceramic mechanical thing I made. I made it during my study at Art Academy. And this was, well, sort of an experiment with, hey, what can I do? What can I make? Can I make something entirely out of clay and be it have it that a blah blah blah, blah, oh, my words. Can I make something out of ceramics and can I have it have a function without using any other materials? So it has a lid, it has a hinge. You cannot open it. Oh, unless you can. But you cannot open it. As you can see, whoop, whoop, and then oh, it opens. Oh, not for you. Those are some. What are those? Oh, these are chocolate coins. Yes, these are chocolate. Still got them from Sinterklaas. I thought they were an appropriate content for a little treasure chest. So yeah, this was the first time that I felt appealed by the idea of making a ceramic thing, a ceramic box, a ceramic chest with a mechanical lock. Oh, check out the page. Sometime me and the wife run the mud biz together. Oh, you have like a pottery business. That's very cool. Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna totally check it out. The clay body uses a nice texture, almost porous looking. Yeah, I use this very just a coarse grog clay body. I just buy it store bought. No, I don't mix clay myself. It's what's the brand again? Gurgen Schneider. It's well, the brand doesn't really matter. It's a stoneware white firing clay with a 40% grog percentage, up to 2 millimeters. Yes, stoneware. And because it has so much grog in it, it's a relatively high percentage grog. It is a nice firm clay, good for building bigger structures. And when it's leather hard, if you scrape the surface, you sort of tear it open, and it gives this very porous texture, as you can see here as well. Let's see if it wants to focus. 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 Don't look at me, start focusing. Yeah. Yeah, you see very porous, like almost like a sandstone kind of texture. And I like that a lot. As if these pieces were made out of stone in the first place. So, let's make a little piece, a new part. I actually think I'm going to make one more of those big angle parts. Because I made one and I want another one. Have you done raku? Or like, have you glazed your moving pieces before? No, I have never done raku. Raku does sound very fascinating to me because it is such a um, fast, almost fast medium in terms of pottery. Like how you heat it up in a relatively short time and you throw it like in the bin with wood fibers and you get these beautiful textures and stuff. It's pretty cool. I've never done it before. And oh, you would be interested to see also some colors in my work. Well, I am actually not that interested in glaze or color. You have noticed that I have not used any kind of glaze in my work, and that is very much on purpose. I am not too big of a fan of glaze. I really like the stone-like appearance and texture of just a raw ceramic. Personally, I view glaze almost more of a category of its own. I know it's in the business or in the ceramic and pottery world, it's very much intertwined, glaze and ceramics. But to me, there is so much depth and specific choices and style involved in using glaze that that it's almost like a separate thing to me. And to me, just the clay is enough in a sense. It has that stone-like appearance I'm looking for. And when you add glaze, it quickly becomes something else. It becomes literally a layer on top, like a glaze, because that's what glaze is. It is you adding like an effect or a new texture to it. Usually a smoothing texture. When you use thick glazes, it really puts like a it can be almost like a glazed donut in a sense. And it is a new layer on top. That is usually not really what I'm looking for. But color is interesting. If I were to use color, I think I would use very like dim, muted pastels or sand colors, or not. I'm already using sand colors, but like sand-like colors, like a green pastel sandy color. I think that would be really cool to have like a, a greenish variant, but I think I would prefer mixing pigments in the clay because that way the texture of the clay is not influenced. The texture of the clay stays the same, and it's not like a layer on top that changes texture of the material. I'm not a glaze guy either, to be honest. I love the stone look as well. Well, thanks. My wife paints my work for me, or some forms I make. I hear what you're saying and share the same sentiment. Ah, okay, cool. Yeah, yeah, it's interesting, right? I think I have nothing against glaze in general at all. It's just it's like I view it kind of as a thing of its own, and also it has so much depth of what I was saying earlier. Um, there's so much knowledge. It's like alchemy to me. It's this mysterious, endless recipes and effects and details you can make, and you don't know what it's gonna look like. Yes, yet until you put it in the oven and it comes out again. It's yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's definitely in a league of its own, so to say. Was just curious on your take and your experience picking your brain. Are you picking are you picking my brain? like a like a like a bird picking worms. Yeah, you're welcome. I love to honestly I like to talk about this kind of stuff. It's always interesting, all these different perspectives people have. Yours as well. Do you live in your studio? No, no, no. This is just where I work. I share this studio actually with my brother. He also does art, ceramic related stuff. Not so much at the moment. He's taking a little bit of a break, and I am mainly using it now. Maybe it's a Texas slang. What? Are you from Texas? Are you an American? All the way from the States? Howdy. Hey, yes, stateside. Awesome. Hey, my regards from the Netherlands. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I was thinking about howdy yeehaw. That's right, my American brother. Don't forget to bring in the kettle this night. Hope you don't mind my horrible American accent. Texas accent. About to eat some biscuits and gravy, which is also a Texas thing, really. Not a sweet biscuit. Okay, that must then be the British thing, because I thought uh, biscuits and gravy is it's like the British thing, right? Also, I hope you don't really mind too much the latency we're having, because it takes about like 17 seconds for me to respond and it's getting back to you, so conversation might be a bit delayed. That's just how Instagram works, unfortunately. My wife is a Miss Knight. You mean her last name is Knight? That's cool. Or has she been knighted, you mean? By the queen. Oh, I mean the king. Also, I was thinking about um, maybe also trying out some streaming at other times of the day, because right now it's uh, uh, 3:30 in the afternoon. Oh, last name. But I did an ancient and but I did sorry. Last name, but I did an ancient and was like Miss Knight. You did an ancient. I did an ancient? Oh, you mean accent? Oh, that must be your autocorrect. Yes. Oh, you did an accent. But anyway, uh, or thanks for stopping by, Mud Wizards. Thanks. Yeah. I was thinking about also maybe trying out some other times for streaming, but because right now it's 15:30 in the afternoon, and in the USA it's like 9:30 in the morning, something like that. So if I stream in the evening, it will be like more uh, uh, a chiller time or something in the USA. But I don't know yet. I might experiment with that. Right now, I'm just streaming whatever is uh, 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 suitable for me. But catch you later, Much Wizards. Thanks for stopping by again. 8:30 here. Oh, it's 8:30. Oh, wait, you're in Texas, so that's like even earlier, probably. Huh. You're an early bird, sitting here watching a stream on a Sunday. Na, 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 na. Okay, I need to roll this out a little bit. I have like a rolling thing over there. Be right back. Okay. Um, mhm. 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 I can't even make a square with it. It's like Arch truly runs in people's veins. Well, thanks. Mitasari. Well, like any craft, it takes practice. And to be fair, clay, especially when it's still soft, it is hard to work with because it's so malleable. It just deforms under the slightest pressure. So yeah, if you want to try and make a square, it sounds easy, but not necessarily. Honestly, oh, best way to do it, I'd say, is first shape it roughly in the clay, then let it become leather hard, like let it dry out a little bit, just so that it becomes firm, but is not dry, completely dry. And then you can trim it when it's firm, and that way it does not deform. And then you can make a pretty tight square. Much more tight than you would expect, and way more tight than you would be able in just working with soft clay like this. Because this just, well, it just deforms. So try not to finish the piece when it's still soft. Finish it when it's firm and easier to work with. Not completely firm, but firmer. Firmer. Okay, what was I doing? Yes. One, two. Oh, you're welcome. Twitter for the illiterate. These names sometimes. It really is kind of the art of our time, right? Coming up with creative usernames. I must disappoint you. I just use my real name for this channel, but maybe I should have gone with Cat Wizard or something. Okay. I use this little pill jar as a reference. It has the right diameter for making these holes. So you can get away with very cheap tools when you use clay. Yeah, just an old pizza knife. Well, not a pizza cutter, but just one of those knives. Potato knife. This is like one of those cheese wedge knife. I don't know what it's called. from a thrift store. I'm even afraid to open a pack of clay and work with it. It feels like people who don't know art have fewer emotions and might not be good parents. At least that's how I think now while watching you. Wait, let me read it one more time. I feel like it feels like people who don't know art have fewer emotions and might not be good parents. So if you don't know art, you have fewer emotions and you become a bad parent. Huh. I'm not sure I follow. But you say you were afraid to even open a pack of clay. Well, yeah. I mean, I can only say be gentle to yourself and give it a try. There is not much that can go wrong, really. You know what the funny thing about clay is? Like actual ceramics clay, not like Play-Doh or like the colored kids clay, like actual ceramic clay. It's 100% recyclable. So if you mess up your thing, you can just toss it in the water, and overnight it just sucks full with water again, and you drain it. And you do need to wedge it, like knead it like dough on like a wooden board or something. Let it dry a little bit, and it's clay again. It's infinitely recyclable. So really, you can't really mess up with clay in that sense. Mm. Oh, you came in after I started. What are you making today? Well, hey, thanks for joining, by the way. I'm making weird parts. These are, this is clay, this is ceramics, and these are parts that have mechanical properties. Here, like this nut and bolt. They are functional in the sense that they can be put together and be connected in mechanical ways. And this is part of like a sort of interactive sculpture I made, where in October, I actually showed it for the first time. I have a whole bunch of these parts. And I put like a big rug in the exhibition room, and there are all these parts, and people can play with them and build shit with them. That's kind of the whole idea behind it. you have this sort of ceramic interactive sculpture, kind of like Lego. Lego pieces. You can build whatever you want with it. Let me show you a little bit more. Oh, oh, those gears are also in frame right now. 1 second for those. But you see there in the distance. Oh, actually, let me show you just right over here. What? See, I have a whole bunch of parts, and they all work. And then over here, you get this guy. This is one of the things I made myself, just using the pieces. This is not a predetermined, premeditated sculpture. I just had a whole bunch of parts I made, and then found out, hey, I can make something cool with it, which is that. Yup. So I'm making parts for that. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the compliments. That's awesome. Never imagined making functional mechanical parts from clay. Cool, right? That's my whole thing right now. It's right now I'm like way into ceramics, and I just want to make this kind of stuff because I think it's cool. Oh my goodness, how weird is that? Yes, it's weird. Exactly. That's how I like it. I like the weird sort of contrasting nature of the idea of ceramics, because ceramics has this sort of fragile image, you know. Everyone when they're talking about ceramics and clay, it's like, oh, it's like delicate and fragile. With pottery, you have these very detailed and delicate structures, and it's very thin walls have the vessels usually, and I thought, well, I want to make robust stuff that can handle a little bit of roughness around the edges and make mechanical things out of them. This stuff is like, clay is not at all a suitable material for this, but when you do it anyway, it becomes interesting, I think, because it wears and tears. There is like white wear and tear marks along the threads, and it's slowly wearing away in a sense. And there is always a chance of breaking. And oddly enough, it hasn't really broken yet anything. I was thinking like, well, something is gonna break sooner or later, but nah. It just seems to be holding itself together pretty well. So I'm happy with that. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. Okay. Whoop. Yeah, this mechanical ceramic, I call it mechanical ceramics. This whole thing is sort of a fascination of me, making these sort of yeah, what to call it? Like archaeological finding looking stone machine things. I know it refers a lot to kind of like lost technology with the pyramids and stuff like that, and like whole ancient lost technology and stuff. Which, well, to be fair, that is an inspiration, and I want to try and make fun. Hey, what is it like if I actually try to make this kind of stuff and it being functional and not just be special effects? Hey, hola, is that hola? Luke? What language is that? OLED. I think that's hello. Hello, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. I'm sure you can't find these in Iran. No, I agree. I agree. Now I have to look for someone to make one for me. So I take it you want one? You want one of these? I am not selling at the moment these things, but I am showing them and exhibiting them. My goal right now is more sort of to make these parts and make this work, and then have them at an exhibition so people can interact and play with them. So maybe at some point I will also make smaller like sets I can sell or something. But right now I'm not really too interested in that. Right now I'm interested in streaming, actually. What I am doing right now. Because I realized I had this exhibition in October, and it was a very cool experience. We had this whole big exhibition. It was like the first time I had this sort of professional exhibition experience. There was like a curator, a project manager, and three other artists, and together we put together this whole exhibition. And it was a very positive experience because it was uh, 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 like such a like professional environment, and at the same time, uh, I felt like I was part of something bigger or a very cool project. But at the same time, I was working a lot at my studio beforehand, and there's a lot of organization going on. And then you put your work out there, and there is a relatively very short time frame of interaction with the public. And then it's over. So it's like a short interaction, a short time frame interaction with the public. And I felt like, oh, that's actually, I want a little bit more or something. I want, I don't know if I want to do this all the time, just sitting at my studio making work and then have an exhibition once in a while. And then that's it. I want a little bit more, also just talking about art and talking, maybe also demystifying the art process and talking with other people about art, other artists. So it becomes a little bit bigger than just me sitting in my studio and making my sculptures. So that's why I'm streaming. That's why I'm trying this out. I just started streaming actually. So it's sort of a new thing to me. It's sort of a new thing for me. Yeah, that's why I started streaming. And I don't know exactly what it will bring me yet, but I hope I may inspire others and myself to and see what happens. I'm not sure yet, but for now, just the act of streaming is a big enough effort of itself because sometimes it's scary. Because sometimes I get nervous just sitting here in front of a bunch of people, and yeah, thoughts go through my head, and I'm feeling insecure and all that good stuff. But I want to try and keep going because I think there may be something more to it. Okay, let's finish this piece now. Da-da-da-dee, da-da-da-da, da-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Oh. It takes a lot of courage to go live online and be a streamer. I applaud you for your courage and humility. Well, thank you, my guy. Thank you, my. I want to say your name, but you have like a weird username. Thank you, Twitter, for the illiterate. It cracks me up. But yeah, hey, that means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Yeah, it is freaking scary. Can it be, man? Honestly, and I think the answer, well, what the reason why I choose streaming, by the way, is because it is a medium that forces you to be yourself. Because if you're gonna put up some sort of a persona, some sort of a well, if you're not going to be very genuine, it's gonna wear yourself out so fast. It's gonna be so tiring. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that anymore. Because I have also made videos for my Instagram or YouTube in the past. I still do that, just more produced, more edited. And it's easier to sort of, well, hide is a big word, but there is a lot of layers between you and the final product. And when you stream, you just have one take. You cannot do it again. And you can only get better over time. So it's also a bit of a training for me. I feel like I'm in school. I am in a streamer. I'm at Streamer Academy right now. I'm trying to get good scores for my grade. Ah! As someone who knows nothing about art, it's truly unique and amazing. Thank you. And that means a lot, man. Sometimes some people can't really learn art, but they need it for life. And this flow of calmness. Well, yeah, I suppose some people are more inclined to be better in art than others, but there's also a lot of just training and resilience involved. Not everything I do came to me naturally. It's also a lot of knowledge. So you can probably do more than you think. But thank you. Or they need to live with an artist, or at least watch their work and art. They, always in the ones who don't really do art. Do you like to do art? Mitahasadi? 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 Oh yeah, but you can't. No, don't be so hard on yourself. I'm sure you can. Be careful also with social media in that extent because it is so easy to compare yourself to other people and be like, oh God, I suck at this, and tear yourself down. So try not to do that too much. Try to compare yourself to yourself in the past. That's usually a much more motivating and productive way to look at yourself. If you do things and keep doing things, you can see progress in the things you do. When you draw, for example, and you keep like a notebook, you can see in small steps your progression and what you're doing. And there are always small steps. There are like never a big leap. It takes time. That's all what it takes. It takes a lot of time. What do you recommend to prevent the clay from cracking during the drying process? Well, usually, ooh, let's not try to warp this thing too much. Um, usually, I just put it on a shelf and I put like a layer of newspapers on it, or just a single newspaper, and usually just a cut open plastic bag, just sort of draped on top, and usually some holes torn in it. Depends on how warm or cold it is in your place where you're drying it. But the trick is always to let it dry slowly and evenly. If you're just gonna put it on a shelf with no protection, it's gonna dry it too fast. Do you work in clay as well? Twitter? What do I call you? Twitter or illiterate? Or your full name? I will just call you illiterate. But that sounds weird. Or do I just call you Twitter? Okay, well, you know I am referring to you when I answer your question. So I guess it's fine. I'm new to streaming. I need to figure this out. I'm just. How do I address my viewers? Help! Okay. Oh, you're too kind, Mitasari. Thank you. Okay, now for the exciting part. The difficult part. Doodle-doodle-doo. Oh wait, let me trim. First, I have dabbled over the years, very inconsistent with my practice. The last thing I tried making was a kind of bas relief. Oh, like the fish. Bas relief tile, but it cracked during drying, and I was discouraged. Yeah, that's rough, man. Yeah, I know. It takes practice, man. Especially when you make delicate things and you are worried about the certain result or certain niceness of it looking. Like you don't want it to crack, for example. Yeah, that's difficult. It's well, usually the advice in terms of drying is the slower it dries, the better. It's just that's usually what it comes down to. Also, the construction of the piece, it was like a relief tile. Oh yeah. If there are like, I don't know if you made it in one entire piece or if there were like multiple segments that were sort of montaged or connected to each other, like sort of glued together with clay slip. Uh, that can also create like weak spots in the structure. But yeah, it's kind of hard to tell exactly what went wrong from my perspective, of course. But usually, drying too fast is the problem. Yeah. In Iran, for the New Year celebration, which we call Nowruz. We set up a table that includes flowers, coins, oleander, hyacinths, and other items that start with S in Persian. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's very cool. That's a very cool tradition. They have like no bouquet. Like a huh, oh, with an S. That's cool. We always arrange these in containers that are exactly in your style. Oh, really? And every year we look for new ideas. It sounds. I just found my new idea. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, great to hear that I have been of inspiration to you. Awesome. Haha, not like the fish, like a low relief sculpture on a flat surface. Oh, okay, okay. I thought it was like a bass. You can also like it helps if you have a clay with a lot of grog in it, like this clay. Um, it does shrink less because in this case this has 40% grog, which means 40% of it is already a pre-fired substance. They are just tiny shards of pre-fired ceramics in here, mixed in the clay. And since it's 40%, which is pretty high, that 40% does not shrink. So it is also less prone to tearing during drying. So if you use like a pure clay, like usually for throwing clay, that's 100% clay, and it shrinks more than clay with grog in it, and that makes it more prone also to tearing and warpage and stuff like that. So that can be can be a material you can use. I started with a thin clay slab about 1 centimeter thick and then added clay material on top to form the sculpture. The clay slab cracked on the bottom, and the crack weakened the top side or front side. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's unfortunate. It probably just sound. I don't know how big or how heavy it was, but it sounds like it was just well, maybe a little bit too thick, or no, it was maybe a bit on the heavy side, and then when it dries quick, it. Oh yeah, look, if you have this piece, for example, and this were to dry like this, and it sort of sits here on the surface, it sort of wants to stick to the surface, it shrinks, and due to its weight, it can tear in the middle because everything shrinks and then it starts to sort of pull on itself and then it comes apart. So what you want to do, you want to put it on a sheet of paper actually when you dry it. Let it dry slowly and put a sheet of newspaper just under it so it can move while it shrinks. That's always the problem with big flat ceramic pieces that sit on their flat surface on the surface. Also during firing, yeah, they are prone to tearing. Even if you were gonna fire it, it was also had extra chance of tearing. Actually, yeah. During firing, also many times easily tearing can happen. Yeah, you're welcome. It's usually when you well buy the clay, it's on the package. This one it says it has 40%. Somewhere over it has a 40%. What? grog containment. How do you say it? It contains 40% grog, which is a good amount, good for building and stuff. Also, if you want to fire something, a shrink slab is recommended, especially if you have like a large flat thing that sits flat like this. You usually want, for example, like this. This is, for example, a shrinking slab. This is just a piece of clay I put in the kiln. Before it was fired, this was just clay. And I put my thing I want to fire on top. And then when it shrinks, this thing shrinks nicely, and the slab underneath it as well. And this has a chance of tearing, and it significantly reduces the chance of tearing of the thing on top, because this one tears and this one doesn't. So this is a sacrificial piece of clay, basically. You have no use for this other than protecting the piece you're firing. Of course, in this example, I just fire them like this because it's such a small area, it won't tear. But I'm just showing this as an example. Slab, shrinking slab, put your piece on top. If you have a big piece, you want to make a big shrinking slab, about the same thickness as your piece, the same wall thickness. Hi, you're welcome. If you want to make containers for the items I mentioned from Norwus, how should I dry them? And how can clay be dried at home? Well, easily. Oh, wait, but are you familiar with ceramics that you need to fire it? Because that's something else than drying. Oh, I don't understand the mumbo jumbo. Slow down your words. Oh, sorry about that. I may be talking a little bit fast, yeah. English is not my first language. So I will try to slow down a little bit. But, sorry, what was I saying? You can dry them at home. Make sure they dry slowly. Put newspapers over them, maybe a sheet of plastic with some holes torn in them. And then it will dry slowly over the course of like a week or so. That's a good period you want to dry it in. Okay, this whole time I have been trying to do the following, which is this. Shrinking slab. I just think I found my next weird username. Good choice. Okay. Time to bend this piece. All right. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think that's the angle I want. Looks all right. Okay. Can you explain more simply what you mean by using something to help dry something else? Or do you do this to protect the piece? Oh yeah, about when you use clay, this is a water-based material. So when it's you want it to dry slowly, so otherwise when it dries too fast, it is prone to tearing. So when you have a piece like this, for example, and you want it to dry, you put a piece of paper over it and maybe a plastic bag with some holes in it so that the moisture has a chance to evaporate slowly. And then when it's dry, it's like this. You see, it's a lighter color. This is the same material. Then it's dry and it's still very brittle and fragile. And then you fire it in a kiln. And when you fire it in a kiln, it becomes ceramic, like this. And ceramics is not reversible to clay anymore. So once you've fired it, you cannot recycle it anymore. You cannot turn it back into clay anymore. Just filling in this corner over here, making it a little bit more like an angle. Mm-hmm. What? As you can see, nicely filled in over here. A nice 90-degree angle. And I think this piece is almost done. Let's see if the holes are still proper. Oh, you have to go. Thanks for hanging out, Merlin. You can call me Peter. Oh, well, thanks for stopping by, Peter. Happy to answer some questions. And thanks for chatting. Hey, have a wonderful day. See you around. See you next week, maybe. I plan to stream every Sunday, same time. Right? See ya. Have a good day. Doodle-doo. Doodle-doo. All right. Hey, hey. Greetings from Pakistan. Hey, greetings from the Netherlands. Greenstone. Hope you're having a good day. Hey, you're welcome, Peter. You're welcome, Peter. Curious to hear what you're making. What you will be making. Maybe you will tell me another time, next time. Okay. Well, this piece is finished. Or wait, is it? Mm-mm. Yes. So this piece right now is finished in the sense that I shaped it and sculpted it in the wet state, in this malleable stage of the clay. And once it's leather hard, I can fine tune it and carve it, trim it, however way I see fit. Because right now it's, you see, it's very wet and very malleable. So I have to be careful working with this because this stuff is very soft and it will deform very easily. So like a week from now or something, or maybe a little bit less, it will be more firm like this, and I can carve it more carefully without chance of deforming it. So let's put it out for drying. Oh, first correct a little bit. When it's still wet, it's very easily to correct the shape, like globally. But for trimming, you want to wait till later. Mm-hmm. Mm. Hang on a moment, I'm looking for a board that's big enough. Okay, I think this one is flat enough and big enough. Oh, well, I hope to see you next week as well, Peter. Oh, you're probably gone already. But okay. Bit of a small board, but it works. All right. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to sign off for the day. I just made a single piece right now, but that's all right. So, I made a nice little piece. This is now ready for drying. It's a copy of this piece. It looks a bit bigger because this one is a bit drier. And also this needs to be trimmed a little bit more. But then in total, it will end up looking like this one, pretty much exactly the same. All right. That's it for today. I'm going to store this away and put some papers on it, put some protection on it so it dries nice and evenly. Okay, everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you next week then. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Oh, my pitch isn't really correct, but it doesn't matter. All right. See you around. Bye bye. Oh, cool. See you later too, bro. Noah. That's my brother. Bye bye. Do 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 do.